A Man Named Gary. An odd sort of title for a vlog on Thanksgiving, but you never know, so give it a listen and see if it makes sense. So this is a story about the other day. I went over to Trader Joe's because I hope I didn't say Valentine's Day. This is like take 4, and I keep saying Valentine's Day, I think because of the flowers. But anyhow, so if I say something besides Thanksgiving, it's because I haven't slept for several nights, or this night, which this vlog will hopefully go out on Thanksgiving. So anyhow, I was over at Trader Joe's looking around, thinking, is there anything there that I could possibly eat that I don't have to crush or mush, or have something that makes me feel human. So everyone will be gobbling, gobble, 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 their turkeys with their loved ones and eating all the trimmings. Why do they call them trimmings anyhow? I don't know. I have the year without a turkey, the year without the trimmings, the year without. Or so I thought. So I'm in there looking around. I think because of my advertisement while in the store promoting, not on purpose, to people, the shortbread with raspberry filling cookies. I think they may have sold out. They're so delicious. I will do a haul later, probably next week, because this is, the Black Friday and all that. People will be shopping. I don't know if they'll be watching the vlogs. But anyhow, I should have had the box with me and I could have showed you here, but that's okay. So anyhow, anyone that was there, I'm like, oh, they're delicious, and oh, you're going to love them. And so basically, I'm sure they were sold out. So I was in there looking around. I saw some things. Again, you'll see them in the haul, so I don't want to tell you what I got. But there were things that I could, just maybe put in my mouth and they'd melt. And, I just wanted to feel human. So I walked through. I was there probably longer than I had planned to be. But, that's what happens sometimes. And there were so many people. Let's see. There was a lady. Oh, my goodness. You could tell. She's just one of these, if you know, you know. So I was looking in the freezer department or compartment. Why, I don't know, because as y'all know, my freezer hasn't worked for several years, the freezer part of my fridge. But I was just looking and reminiscing about old things I used to eat, like chocolate-covered bananas, chocolate-covered strawberries. Then I would make my own once I saw something. I do that a lot, but haven't been able to do any of that for quite a while. So this lady comes in and she almost grabs a person who works there and says, oh, do you have, I don't know what it was. I should have. She must have repeated 100 times. And she says, probably right there. It's probably right there where it's all empty. I have to have it, something gluten-free. So the man says, well, I'm sure there's at least one in the back. And she said, and then she's like talking to me, talking to the lady next to her, and just talking. Sort of like I was with the cookies, but in a weird kind of way. She was just a little bit odd, off-kilter. Maybe stressed would be the word, as we all were. But I noticed the day before Thanksgiving, everyone was just really taking their time, and I kind of enjoyed it. I don't like when people are very fast, but there were a lot of people, so there was no way. I wanted a vlog so bad because they started putting out the Christmas stuff, but they were playing music. And, it's copyrighted. And even though I still am not at 1,000 subs, which it shouldn't matter to me, but I guess because the music is copyrighted, they could take down my video, or I don't know. Who knows what they do. So anyhow, after what seemed like a million years there, but it's okay because I love to look at the flowers. They have the most beautiful flowers. These are not mine, just so you know. I don't, my floor is definitely not straight because I'm holding this camera on my phone. I call it a camera. Let's go with that one. But anyhow, and it's crooked. But anyhow, I was going toward the register. My main goal was to get these things I call fruit leathers. But they're sort of, they resemble roll-ups, but they're just like just imagine a Band-Aid. A Band-Aid, regular Band-Aid. Sort of like that, but the ends are squared off, kind of the size of that. And that is made into a fruit kind of snack. Those are good for me to have because when I have the pre-syncope, which means before I feel like passing out, it's good to have something like that for sugar because it's not chocolate. I mean, I usually have chocolate, but that just seems better. So that was my main goal. So I got them, and I was holding on to them so they wouldn't fall through the cart. Anyhow, I get up to the register, and I have them in my hand, and the lady in the register basically is take them out of my hand. And, you know, I always get mixed up in that store. I never know which side to put the cart, or where to put the cart, or where to put me. So I wasn't paying attention. And let's do the bad part first. So the bad part was when I got home and emptied my stuff, the fruit leathers, as I call them, were gone. So I don't know what she did with them, but I was charged for them and I don't have them. So we'll get rid of the bad stuff and sweep it right out of the video. So then I was there and the register girl says, "Oh, you're doing something wrong on the machine." I says, "I'm doing nothing. I'm standing here watching you ring up my order." "No, you must have pressed the wrong button." I said, "I didn't press any button." Not in a mean way, just in a kind of, you know, the mood was quiet and slow and, you know, like that. And I don't know what her problem was, but I don't know. I guess maybe I put my purse on the counter. I must have leaned up against the credit card thing or something. I don't know. There would be a better way to say it, especially since she's probably enjoying my fruit leathers right now. So anyhow, I'm leaving the store and I stop before I go outside and I always look at my bill. And that's how I know the fruit leathers were on there, but never thought they would not be in my bags. So I go outside and my God, it is not only raining cats and dogs, it is raining the whole zoo. Holy cow. Where did that rain come from? But of course it could be worse. It could be snowing. So I was just grateful. I was in there so long that I burped if you heard that. I don't know why. I haven't ate. I don't know when. But anyhow, I didn't eat because I couldn't. I was very nauseous and I had choked on something. So anyhow, let's just sweep that out of this lovely story that's going to happen. So, I'm standing out there, you know, where the roof is still on you, and I'm like talking to myself, where in the world is my car? And it was so busy. I have never been to Trader Joe's when it's this busy. So you must be saying, obviously you never go on a weekend. Maybe that's it, but the day before a holiday, probably never again will I do that. Even though it wasn't bad. It really wasn't. But the parking was, and I could not find my car. While everyone else is just pressing their fob. Beep, 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 beep. I don't have that. And of course, you know why, because of him. So anyhow, oh yeah, backwards, gotta go a little backwards. There's a man behind me in line, and he says, "Those must be good cookies because you have a whole bunch of them." I says, "Oh, they are delicious." So he asked the cashier, which I'm sure irked her even more, "Could you have someone get me 2 packs of those?" So they did. And he, you know, was making small talk with me, and I says, "You are going to love them. I guarantee you will just eat 1 box right in the car." And then he started talking something about his wife loves shortbread, and they're shortbread. And you'll see them in the what's it called when I show what I buy? I haven't done it in so long. Whatever it is. I'm getting a headache now. I didn't mean for this to go so long, but it's long, so you're probably just resting anyhow after eating your delicious turkey and everything else. So anyhow, we were just chit-chatting, and I says, oh, what a lucky woman your wife is, having those beautiful flowers. And he says, I learned early on. He told me he was married 56 years, and a tear came out of my eye and down my cheek, which is very rare with this illness I have. So I enjoyed it, I must say. And I said, you are living my dream. My dream was to be married for, ever, as they say in the saying, which I will not repeat. He said, I learned early on, you buy flowers and give a hug and a kiss and everything is good. My wife is so happy and appreciative. And he said, those flowers, they last 2 weeks, except the rose, of course. And he said he wished he didn't put the rose, they didn't put the rose in there. But he says, you know what my wife would do? After the 2 weeks, there'd be some that would still be okay, and she'd cut them down and put it in a smaller vase. I said, I used to do that too. My husband used to bring me flowers on Thursdays, long ago. But he decided after 25 years just to abandon our youngest son and me. I said it was quite a shock. That's why I said, when I saw his flowers, it just reminded me of better times. I'm wondering how this video is going to look. It's probably going to be the wrong way. Okay, never mind. So I'm going out. I'm standing there. I know I'm jumping all over. You're probably half asleep from the troponin. No, I don't know what it's called. It becomes turkey that makes you tired. So he comes up to me. He says, is everything all right? I says, I cannot find my car anywhere. He says, oh my goodness, well, let me help you. And it was pouring. I'm like, oh, that's okay. It is pouring rain. He says, no, it's not a problem. And he says, why don't I leave my cart here and I will drive up my car and we'll put your groceries and mine in my car and we'll drive around and look for it. And I said, oh my gosh, you don't have to do all that, because I was thinking in my mind of mine, my husband would never do such a thing. I mean, the rare occasions of the 25 years married and 28 together, and it's like, let's stop there. Just to the beginning, he would, go to the store with me, but otherwise that wasn't. But to say something like that, if like we're in the same car, he'd find the car and bring it up because rain. No, that I don't remember that happening. So I'm like, okay, sure, why not? So as he left, I thought, oh no, I didn't ask him what kind of car he was driving. And it was raining so bad, and my glasses were getting all foggy because I wear a mask when I go out, like in the store or something now in this time of year. It's almost December. And I'm starting to get worried, getting memories, what is it, post-traumatic, of who I was once with and how he would act. So I started getting nervous and scared, and oh my gosh, what does he drive? But somehow he just drove right in the front as if I were a princess. He didn't care. He was on a mission. He was going to help the young'un, as he called me. So young. I'm not young. But I guess to him, everything's relative when you hear the rest of the story, if you're still here. So anyhow, let's try to speed this up a bit. Okay, so he puts the groceries in the car, and I start putting mine. He said, oh, no, get in the front so you don't get wet. And he put my groceries in, and we started driving around. He went a bit farther, so it was nice, and we were talking, and he told me about things and stuff, and then he told me about a family that they had sort of adopted, like permanently. And they happened to be very close, their nationality to mine, so we were talking. And this man happens to be the same nationality as me. He told me that his father's father was born in the country my parents were born. And he went there, his father's father. So we talked a little about that and then found my car. And so he parked behind my car. And I'm like, oh dear, there's a lot of cars. And when people were leaving, they weren't in such a good mood, let me tell you. I hate to get wet too, but geez, come on. It's Thanksgiving, for Pete's sake, the next day, which would be today. So a person left next to my car, and I said, oh, why don't you park there maybe? Oh, it's okay. So he kept moving the car back and whatever, and I'm thinking, no, I was never treated like that. So then, after we talked and he told me his age, he was 80. I says, 80? No way in the world. He says, you want to see my license? I says, no, I guess I'll have to believe you. But he did not look like 80 at all. So after we chatted, he says, well, let's go get you on your way or something, like that. That nice man from long ago would say, an 80-year-old man. So he gets out, I get out, and he takes a couple bags, and I take a couple bags. And he says, oh, I wasn't expecting you to carry your bags. I'm like, oh, I thought I should help you. No. A man should help out a woman. A stranger should help out another stranger. Everybody should do things like this. And I says, you are right, because I'm that person too. I used to help. But my health is gone. I says, boy, you are very healthy. And I had told him my age, and he says, oh, you're just a kid. I don't know. I don't agree, but I did. I says, okay, we'll say I am. So he says, you just get in your car, and where would you like them? And that was that. And so I put my key in, and I started my car, turned on the heat to turn on the thing that you in the front, so you can see out your window. The fog would go away. So anyhow, he's carrying the bag, so I'm standing there. I put my hood on after I realized that my hair is soaking wet, but anyhow. And then he brought it, and I said, well, thank you so much. Oh, he told me his name was Gary when we were in the car talking. He says, oh, by the way, I'm Gary. And I said, I'm Sandy. So I just felt such a good feeling, because when I was going to Trader Joe's, I was just feeling in a bad place. Just a bad place, thinking about what a horrible day Thanksgiving would be. So I was standing out there till he was done. I was going to shut the door. But when he was done, he shut the door for me, and we just chit-chatted a little longer. And I says, well, your wife is one lucky lady. I says, make sure you give her an extra hug and kiss. And he says, I sure will. And it will be from you, I'll tell her, about someone I met today. And I thought, wow, isn't that nice? And I was going to say, can I give you a hug? And as I was about to say that, he says, could you give me a hug? Or could I have a hug? Or something like that. And I thought, wow. God is good. Because let me tell you, my spirits went up very high, and I felt totally different than what I did when I walked into Trader Joe's. Not sponsored, by the way, but it would be nice if they sponsored me, considering I have to go back to get those things, the fruit leathers, as I call them. So I drove home just feeling great. Because, mostly this time of year people are rushing, and it's very surprising Trader Joe's. Usually people there get angry really quick, so thank you, God, for putting the stranger in my life for this half an hour or so. It just was nice to feel like somebody cared. Someone gave a darn about me. It was very nice, so there are nice people in this world. And just because I can't reach out and help others, I guess it's my turn for others to reach out to me. I don't know if this would ever happen again, but I thought that was very nice. So I came home, and putting the stuff away was different. It wasn't like, oh gosh, got to do this and that, because I'm very tired after I grocery shop. I don't usually grocery shop at Trader Joe's, but you know what? They got cheap stuff. People say, oh my God, Trader Joe's. No, it's much cheaper than Wegmans, Tops, Aldi's, you name it, all of them. So anyhow, hopefully I'll get up my haul next week, unless I eat it before then. I'll try to remember to save the boxes. But yes, I wanted to share this nice story that is so fitting for Thanksgiving Day. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope someone was kind to you, or you were kind to them, or you have a story like that to share. And I hope this comes out good, but I got a feeling the picture's moving. I don't know why, but it is what it is, and here it is. It's about the story. So I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe. Please help me get to 1,000. A little over, because, sometimes people drop off. So I can monetize my channel, because, I really need to make money. I have to somehow because the games that you know who is playing, he's making sure that I never get a fridge. My oven door doesn't get fixed and I will lose my house. That's what he's going for. So, I forgot my thought, but it doesn't matter. I'm finally getting tired, for Pete's sake. I'm glad. But I'm going to load this. Hope for you it will load because I got to do it in a different way. But I hope you enjoyed my story. I hope it warmed your heart and gave you some warm fuzzies and maybe you have something to share yourself. And if you're alone, I hope my story warms your heart a lot, because being alone and lonely is hard. And that's it. We'll call it a wrap. Be kind to people. Pay it forward if you can. And be the reason someone smiles. Or I hope I made you smile with my story of a stranger named Gary. Thanks for watching and happy Thanksgiving. Bye.